Hi, folks. Rick Berube here on this today. It's December 1st. So we're going to make this a December to remember by kicking off Facebook Live with Krytal Ramos, okay, from our Yerba Linda office. Yeah.
Hi.
As you can hear, Krytal, the studio audience goes crazy. Yes.
Exciting.
So, all right. So we know that you're in California, and a lot of people know who you are in California, but not Arizona and Nevada. So just take a minute, explain, like a little about yourself, how long you've been in the business, and that type of thing, please.
Well, I've been in the business for about 7 years. I joined Tarbell Realtors in 2013 and met with Bob. He's a wonderful manager. He's taught me so much. We're always training. He's always keeping me up to date on education, legal car forms. And the thing that I liked about Tarbell Realtors was that it was very family oriented. And when we were acquired by Berkshire in June of 2019, I found that Berkshire was just as well as family oriented as Tarbell. And I was super excited to join, especially with the global marketing, which we didn't have at Tarbell Realtors. So
Right.
that's how it started.
Right. So, and I love Bob Arneal too. He's great. Been a huge addition. Him and Larry working tremendously well together, which is fabulous. But my little joke. Remember my little saying? I don't know if you remember, but when we acquired Tarbell, my first little tour through all the offices was, "Hey, Tarbell was swell, but now you slay Cabernet."
Yes.
So I gotta have a saying for everything. Just like getting it done in 2021 is the new one.
That's right. Got to hit the ground running.
Hey, that was like, what was that? Anyway, Paul's got the sound effects going this morning. I love it. All right. So you have been with Tarbell. And you know what's really interesting? When I worked for Mike Ferry years ago, I had Tarbell in 1995, 6. I had a few Tarbell agents that I coached when I was at Mike Ferry.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've been familiar with Tarbell for a long time. Tremendous company, like you said, very family oriented, and it was a huge. I thought it was great when we joined together, and then now we've been together now for about a year and a half. It's been nothing but awesome. So congratulations, and I'm really enjoy having you guys here.
Thank you.
So tell me a little about. Okay, so you've been what are you around? You do like around $6-7 million a year in business, right? Tell us a little about that, how you do it, and how you want to finish this year, and then maybe we'll get into next year too, please.
Well, I think I just try to stay consistent and focus on who my clientele is. I realized when I first started, I did the door knocking, I did passing out flyers, and it didn't work for me. And it wasn't very cost effective. It was expensive. And I think I came into this, social media era where it helped me grow and build my business. I was able to put myself out there more and started getting my clients through my personal sphere. And I've learned that most of my business comes from, repeat clients and referrals. So I just try to stay consistent on maintaining my relationships with my past clients, posting on my social media and, just continue on to keep in contact with everybody.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and Bob did tell me you use social media a lot, but start it to be, okay, so how do you stay in touch with your sphere? Do you call them? Do you mail? Is it mostly social media? How do you do that exactly?
It's mostly social media. I do send out text messages here and there just to check in on my clients and see how they're doing. Just simple questions like during the pandemic, I've reached out to a few people like, hey, just checking in. I actually had a client that purchased from me 2 years ago, and she was supposed to be moving back in the property that she purchased. She's renting it out. And when I followed up with her to see how she was doing with the pandemic and if she was going to move into the property she purchased, she said that she was actually thinking about selling it. So it's just little things like that, just following up on, how your clients are doing could lead to, a hot lead and to possibly selling again and buying again.
Right. So yeah, And that's a great way to do it too. I love, you know what, and you're looking at one of the longest holdouts for social media possible, but now I do a lot of it. Like, look at this, we're doing Facebook Live. If you told me 5 years ago, I'd be doing 3 Facebook Lives a week, I would tell you you're out of your mind, but it's incredibly how well they work, right? So you seem like give me an idea, like, okay, so what kind of things do you post on social media and, all that good stuff?
I think it's really important to post what you're doing. You want to show people that you are active in the real estate market. So I do show short videos, or I'll post a picture of, me and my buyers viewing a home, or if I'm doing an inspection while I'm in escrow, I'm always posting a sale. And it seems like when I post a sale, I almost every time get a message on Instagram or Facebook from somebody, whether it was a friend of my client or a family member.
Cool. So what you're saying, Casey, when I talk about social media, I tell them, think about 2 words: content and document. And that's what you're talking about. You're documenting what you're doing, almost like a little reality show, and showing them, here's what's happening. And I love it. You got your buyers involved. It's great when you can get them in a video or in a picture to put on social media, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I do that often.
Yeah. And you always get responses after that, don't you?
I do.
Cool. Yeah, it's great. So so tell us what you use. You said Instagram, Facebook. Is there anything else that you use?
Those are the 2 that I use. I did try LinkedIn, but that didn't really work for me. I don't know about Snapchat. I probably should do Snapchat or maybe TikTok. I mean, it seems like TikTok is the new thing. Haven't quite figured that out yet. Maybe that's a goal of mine to do the following year.
Yeah, isn't TikTok just like Instagram? I don't know what the big deal is about TikTok.
I have no idea. I have no idea about that. I just know because my kids are like, Mom, you really need to get a TikTok for your business. My 17-year-old son is actually the one that set up my business Instagram account for me.
Nice.
So they actually helped me. Yeah.
Yes, people ask me all the time, who should I get me to help me with my social media? I go, how old are your kids? 14? Perfect. Use him. They know more about social media than we ever will. It's like normal. Like my son's 16. I mean, it's like he's got everything I go, what do you do? I'm hanging out with my friends. I go, you're in your room. Yeah, I know, but we're on the computer and on. It's just amazing what they do today, right? Like this pandemic they're the least affected by this.
Right.
Because they're used to doing everything by video anyway. Okay, so you primarily use Instagram. When's the last time you looked at LinkedIn, by the way, at using it?
Probably over a year and a half.
Yeah, because I was going to say, it has changed recently. It's really good. It's like, I call it business Facebook. It's like Facebook, but you only want to put business. They've changed the whole thing. And the great thing about LinkedIn is it allows you 30,000 connections. Like Facebook capped you out at like 5,000 friends for your personal page. This allows you 30,000, which is pretty cool.
That's really good to know. I guess I got to look back into LinkedIn.
Yeah. I like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the business one. Facebook is obviously, to me, most of your business is going to come from Facebook. And Instagram, depending on your age, I think Instagram is good for buyers. And, but they're all good. They're all good. Those are the only 4. And I use Twitter. Those are the only 4 I use: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. All right. So how has this year affected you with all this craziness, especially in California with COVID-19? Have you still had a good year?
It's actually been pretty amazing. I'm really surprised. I feel like I've had a better year this year than last year. I was really nervous back in March. I had a few buyers, and I remember we were in escrow and we got an email saying that everything was shut down. And at that time, real estate was not considered an essential business. But then a few weeks later, they said, oh, just kidding. We are considered an essential business. So it was like, oh, okay, let's move forward. But yeah, since then, I've had so many buyers. The interest rates are super low. And it's just been probably the best year I've had as far as the buying side.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because oh, just kidding. I think they were trying to pull it off, and then realtors. That's the great thing about being a realtor is we have a lot of pull. I think we're the second after the National Rifle Association, the NRA. I think we're the second largest trade organization in the country, and we used to be number one. Now I think the NRA edged us out slightly. So my joke with because we cover Arizona, California, and Nevada. So my joke with my agents was because the only state for about 2 weeks that was non-essential was California. So my question to them was, how does it feel to be called non-essential by your governor?
It doesn't feel very good.
Right, especially people, and here's the thing too. When it first happened, a lot of these people that got out of the deals really were kicking themselves, in the butt 6-8 weeks later because they lost some of these jumbo loans and these interest rates. Now they've come back and everything's even better now. But for that snapshot in time, it wasn't a good idea to get out of most people realize that. And a lot of them have come back and bought since, right? Is that your experience as well?
Yes. We just stuck it through our escrow, and we were lucky that the sellers did give us a little bit more time because they were understanding, and they were actually moving out of state in an escrow too. So we just decided, let's get through this. And from that point on, I mean, it's just been so busy with buyers. I just opened 2 escrows last week. I have 2 more buyers that I'm working with right now, and a possible listing coming up in the spring. So 2021 is actually looking pretty good. I feel like 2020 is a little snapshot of what is to come, and I think it's just going to get better.
You know what? I agree with you 100%. Think about it right now. We're running in a pretty incredible market, and we have a pretty decent sized handicap, COVID-19, especially in California. Out of all 3 states we're in, California is the tightest to operate. Like, you can have open houses in Arizona, you can have them in Nevada, you can't have them in California. You can't even hand out anything in California. So when the vaccine gets going and things start could you imagine what 2021 is going to be, especially after the first quarter? I still think the first quarter is going to be incredible, but once people feel more secure and safe, and they've got the vaccine out there and more people are getting it, it's going to be. I think we've got a couple really good years. I mean, think about it. And I think it's going to affect your listing inventory too, because you've got some people, baby boomers and so forth, that want to move to other areas that probably aren't doing it now because they're afraid to actually do anything.
Right.
So
I've actually had the listings that I did have this year. They're actually people moving out of California, and they're moving to Nevada, Arizona, and Texas. So, I mean, the market's it's just strange. I mean, either you have buyers that, or sellers that are upgrading to a larger home, which some of my clients have done, or you get people that say, hey, I'm moving out of California.
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of people, before I say this, California will never have a problem with people moving into it because everybody wants to live in California. Okay, especially Orange County. Orange County is like, one of the top destinations on the planet to live in. But there's a lot of people who realize, I bought my house 30 years ago, 20 years ago. I owe nothing. I bought it for $38,000. It's worth $950 now. And I'm going to move to Arizona or California or Texas where I can buy twice the house for half the money. No state income tax. No. So, I mean, it makes sense for a lot of people to do that. And so that's why I'm saying your listing inventory, I believe, is going to be helped because of that. And you're always going to have, buyers. I mean, you're always going to have people moving in. So it's not a big deal as far as that goes. I mean, look at what do you guys have? 0.7 month inventory on the market right now in your area? If that, right? All right, cool.
It's still growing.
But you're still putting deals under contract. This is great. So you're finding listings for your buyers.
Yes, it's very competitive here. I'm not sure how it is in Arizona and Nevada, but you have 30 people submitting offers on one property. If it's priced right and it's in a great little home, everyone is jumping on that house. So what I have found is, we've lost some chances to get the home, but what I have found is having a really great package put together, pre-approval letter, credit scores, the RPA, as well as a killer cover letter. I always include a cover letter for my clients with the picture and what they love about the home. And we've actually twice got the home with 30 plus offers, and we were not the highest offer, and it was because of the letter.
Yeah, yeah. Remember, selling, buying real estate is an emotional situation for these sellers and buyers. And when you tell them, we love the home because we're going to raise our family here, it really turns on a lot of sellers too. So that's a really smart idea. Good stuff. All right, cool. So tell us a little about your goals for next year, please.
Next year, of course, I want to hit a higher closing sales volume. I want more listings, but I think I need to focus more on building my sphere and reaching out to my neighbors in my neighborhood. I feel like the market that I really want is my community, and I haven't hit that yet. So that's what I'm going to focus on next year. I've already started door knocking and passing out flyers. I know I said I wasn't going to do that, but I feel like you need to put your face out there, be consistent, and let your neighbors know that you're a realtor.
Yes.
And know your area.
Yeah.
Always keep an eye on the market in your area, because somebody might ask you a question and you want to be ready to answer that.
Yeah, it's so true. Having a face-to-face conversation with somebody is the highest quality of contact. The chances of them using you go up tremendously. And the second one, obviously, is voice-to-voice over the phone. And social media is close because especially if they're seeing your video, they're getting to know you, they're feeling comfortable with you. All right, so my favorite question I like to ask all the people on she's getting ready, folks. If you could do it over again, or if you were somebody trying to take it to the next level, what were the 3 most important things you would tell them to focus on?
Be consistent, always stay educated, always ask questions. For me, what I did was I look at the top producers. There's always somebody selling more. And, for me, I want to be that person. I want to be that top producer. So I really look at the agents in my office and I ask questions and see what they're doing, to see how much more I can do and grow.
So, okay, so be consistent. And when you say be consistent, what exactly do you mean? Be consistent with?
Always keep in contact with your clients, send those random text messages, checking in on them, always post, your sales, your listings, be consistent in going to your office meetings or Zoom meetings, be consistent with what's going on in the market. Like this year, it really changed.
Right. So be consistent with what I'm hearing is be consistent with the high billable hour activity events, like talking to people, like posting on your social media, like being educated about your marketplace, especially your farming area or your even your town, all of that stuff, right? So I like that. That's real important. I mean, you would think, Crystal, that would be everybody would get that, but they don't always get that. And then I like what you said for number 2, asking questions. But by the way, did you want to elaborate on that before I cut you off?
No, I was going to say another thing is, be confident and always set goals. Setting goals are, it's very powerful. I feel like when I write it down on paper, or even daydream about it, if I say it and I write it down, it usually happens. And, there were some goals I didn't meet, but something I've really learned the last 2 years, and I really want new agents especially, to notice is don't be so hard on yourself. Learn from your mistakes. Ask why you lost a listing, and go back at it and try to work on the next deal. But yeah, just be confident and don't be so hard on yourself. I'm still working on it, but it's getting a little better.
Good. Yeah, I can hear the confidence in your voice, but we all torture ourselves a little. But you're right, but if you do the consistent things that you just talked about, talk to people, do your social media, know your market, that definitely affects your confidence level too, right?
It does. It does.
Yeah. And I would even add knowing what to say, like the little pattern I talk about, having quality conversations. I think that is really important because like when people can tell you're all about them, they use you.
Exactly.
When you appear to be all about you, like I am the most incredible, they don't want to use you.
No. And my clients are everything to me. This job is so rewarding. It's very demanding. There's a lot of sacrifice, but at the end of, the transaction, handing over those keys to my clients, seeing the smiles on their face are everything. And my relationship doesn't end there. I keep in contact with them. They usually become my friends, and, we keep in contact through text or social media, and, just, put your heart into it, and it's my passion and I love it.
That's so great. Yeah, that's exactly why I got into the business. What you just explained, it's almost like winning a gold medal every time you hand those keys over. They move into their house. They're so excited. They're going to raise their family there, or they already did. I mean, it's the most expensive asset most people own, especially in California, right?
Exactly.
And they raise their family. It's a very emotional. It's very financial. It's their financial health. It's a lot of things wrapped into one.
And you have to be patient with your clients because, like you said, it is very emotional. I've gotten calls at 11:30 p.m. at night, and I answer them. I answer them every time. And sometimes you just kind of have to be their therapist and reassure them that you got them, you're taking care of them, and they're in good hands.
Yep, that's awesome. I love it. All right, any final thoughts you want to leave them before we finish today?
Don't forget to set your goals, and 2021 is going to be bigger and better, and let's all hit the ground running.
Yeah, what you just said earlier at the beginning of this call is so important. You have momentum heading into 2021. So you're definitely going to get it done in 2021 because you have momentum already because you're doing it all the time. You're talking to people, you're adding to your sphere. Okay, you're being consistent with your social media. So as long as you keep doing that, you're going to keep rocking it. And that's a great lesson for everybody to hear today is consistency works. You're in a business that everything happens 60 to 90 days behind the actions that you're taking, especially when you're talking about social media and prospecting. So if you want to start the year incredibly well, nothing feels better than starting with a lead, right? Like you have momentum.
And start now. Don't wait till 2021.
Make it a December to remember. Huh?
Exactly.
All right, Krytal, thank you very much for your time. You were awesome. This was a great, great interview. I really appreciate your time. All right, I know you'll get it done in 2021. Look forward to seeing you soon. Everybody, look forward to seeing you soon. Happy December 1st.
Bye. Thanks.
See you later. Thank you.